I was gonna say, show me your you probably want me to say that. All right.
That's a song that I had a couple years ago. Yeah.
No, pick a different. Start over. Don't use that.
Are you ready to talk?
I'm sorry. I gotta get a drink of this.
Stop it!
This political
time
tea.
is money. Time is money. Stop it. It's costing you.
Drinking my Marti.
It's $100,000 every time you talk. Stop. You ready to talk politics? We're talking with Bob the Drag Queen today on the Marti Report.
Hi.
This is
Trixie Mattel.
This is uncomfortable.
Oh, you're Bob.
Yeah, I'm Bob. So this is my.
You guys just met each other. Well,
Yeah,
this is
so-
so nice.
I thought you guys wanted Snob the drag queen. That's why I'm.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Marti Gould-Cummings, and I'm here with Bob the Drag Queen, the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, a comedian, a fierce drag queen, an actor, and activist. Welcome to the show, Bob. Let's dive right in.
I like that little intro.
Thank
We
you.
also left out Chanteuse, mother of three, light dancer, amateur baker,
You're a very good pie baker. I can attest to that.
pecan pie with wig.
It was the best meal ever. We're talking politics. We're getting down with it. So I want to know, when was the very first time you ever voted?
My first vote that I ever cast was for Al Gore.
Oh.
Yeah, my first vote was for Al Gore. It was a losing vote.
You're from Georgia. Did you vote in Georgia?
I did. I voted in Columbus, Georgia.
So I want to talk about how before you were on Drag Race, you were hugely political and a huge activist. So what are some of the issues that you marched for or protested for?
Well, we used to do these things called Drag Queen Weddings for Equality. Like every single Saturday, me and a bunch of my drag queen friends, we would do these demonstrations, and we vowed to do them every Saturday until there was marriage equality in New York.
You guys would stand in the middle of the street often, right?
Well, the Drag Queen Weddings for Equality were drag wedding demonstrations in Times Square, and then we also did the stopping traffic. That was not drag queen. That was with a group called Queer Rising, and we would like block traffic, or we did demonstrations in Central Park. Not Central Park, Grand Central Station. We would get arrested.
I was going to talk about that. You got arrested. Were you in drag when you got arrested?
Full drags.
What was that experience like, going to jail in drag?
To be honest, it was not that scary because I knew I was getting arrested.
You went in with the intention
Of getting
to get arrested.
Yeah. So I was arrested with my cohorts. We let the NYPD know that we'd be there. They showed up, they met us there, gave us our warnings, and then arrested us.
But that's like super powerful though, because you're making a statement and you're bringing attention to causes that need it. Ever since we've been friends, I've known you to be political, and you are such a huge inspiration for me in being an activist.
Really?
And yes, ma'am. Yay, you inspire me, queen. So why do you think drag is political? What is the root of that?
Well, I mean, I do think that drag in and of itself is a bit of a political statement, but I also know there's lots of queens who aren't political. I think that drag is at the forefront of all the queer movements. Drag queens are leaders in our community, so therefore people look to the queens. They're like, we go see your shows multiple times a week. Tell us what to do. What do we do? And I always say, the first time I got in full drag and got on the train to get to work, I remember everyone was looking at me. Like everyone was like, oh my goodness. And then I thought to myself, oh my God, I have all these eyes and ears on me. And I was like, well, now what am I gonna say?
I think that's why drag queens oftentimes get into politics, because first of all, the act of doing drag is a form of political action. Like riding the train in drag is going against
It's bucking against the system.
It's bucking against the system,
It's
right?
going against the status
so,
quo.
and I think oftentimes drag queens, especially in today's climate, want to get engaged politically, but they might not necessarily know how. So what are your kind of suggestions or tips for drag artists who want to use that what you're saying, that voice, all eyes and ears are on me, so how can I?
Well, I think you do what's comfortable for you. I was on a political panel with you at DragCon. You were there, right?
Oh yeah, that was wild.
And there was this one lady was like, you need to go out and knock on doors, and if you're tweeting, that's not enough. I knocked on someone's door at 8 p.m. And I was like, yeah, you're a tiny white woman. I'm a big black man. For me, the best case scenario is the lady doesn't answer the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's important for activists to kind of recognize our country is a scary place for a lot of people. I think activists have to know that, a great form of resistance is not just knocking on doors, but using your social media or your stage or whatever. Any form of activism is correct.
You do what's comfortable for you. When I was 20 whatever, I was out there getting arrested, marching in heels for hours, and that made sense for me at that point in time. You know what I mean? Now I can get more eyes and ears on me using my social media, I don't have to go to the streets and scream.
You're bringing attention to the causes through the platform that you have, and you're doing a show on HBO where you're going around the country and dressing people up, which is bringing drag to a whole new demographic of people.
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
So we're still filming. It's called We're Here. It premieres on HBO on the 24th of April. Don't quote me. But anyway, it's interesting. You go into these really small towns, and you are basically, because we're working with lots of different people, and we're like letting people know, like, you know, queer people are your neighbors.
I think humanizing issues is super important and bringing it to the forefront. Have you encountered any kind of resistance in being a political queen? Because I oftentimes hear people say, "Oh, just entertain. I just want to be entertained." Do you often encounter that?
Typically speaking, I have a pretty positive response. I mean, to be fair, also there are times when I'm just yelling into an echo chamber. If I'm in a gay bar, there's usually not a lot of people who don't have my sentiment. But what I am trying to spread is go out there and do this too. Like, do this with your family, do this with your friends. The idea of me being political in a bar, at a show, is another way of me saying we have to continue this when we leave here.
Yes.
Kind of like whenever you give a check, the reason you make the big $100,000 check that you give to the charity is so other people also see you giving to the charity and they give to the charity as well. Yeah.
What are some political issues that you think drag queens should strongly take a stance on?
Well, something that really has affected me a lot and something that I used to march for a lot and I still advocate for a lot is queer homeless youth. Like the number of like young like trans women, black trans women who just live on the streets it would astound people.
Well, in New York alone, you know, there's the housing crisis is a thing happening across the country, but in New York, there's anywhere between 60 and 80,000 homeless people in the street, and out of that, it's 4,000 to 5,000 are LGBTQIA plus youth. You know, that's a large number.
And it's just like young queer kids just roaming the street with nowhere to go. I mean, I see them at my shows. They sneak into the bars just because it's a place where it's warm.
It's the only place they can go.
And where they won't be judged, but then they get there and they're homeless and they're getting judged for other reasons. But yeah, homeless queer youth is like a big problem.
Yeah. Well, thank you for using your voice for that. And your tagline is Bob the Drag Queen, Queen for the People.
Queen for the People.
Queen for the People. Who came up with that? You came up with that?
I used to hook up with this guy. and we were talking about I wasn't on Drag Race at the time. He was talking about how he saw this queen at a bar. And he was like, she was like nasty. He was like, she was not a queen for the people. He goes, you know what? You're a queen for the people. You are. And I was like, I am a queen for the people. So then I just started like using that in my day-to-day life. You
are a queen for the people.
Thank you.
You are. You helped me many times. And I'm a people.
I'll tell you who that queen was. You want to guess? I'll give you 3 guesses. I won't say who it is, but I'll tell you if it's one of those 3.
Okay.
That's one. One more.
That's a throwback.
All right, no, none of those.
Really?
None of those monsters?
Was it me?
It was you. It wasn't Marti.
What if it was me? What do you look for in a candidate when you're going to vote, especially because right now it's 2020 and we're coming up on a big election? What do you look for when you're voting?
I look for plans and policies. I look for past voting records, and I look to see how long they've been on what I consider the right side of history.
Are you leaning towards a specific candidate in this race?
I am.
Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah, we can say it.
Yeah.
I am leaning toward Bernie Sanders. When I look at Bernie Sanders' voting record, it bodes with how I feel. When I look at his activism since before I was even alive, I was like, wow, this is really someone who's really been marching the good march for a really long time. What
do you tell people when they say to you that they want to get more involved politically or with activism?
I think that the internet is a wealth of knowledge. I'm one of those folks who feel like the internet's a good thing versus it being like, it's the downfall of humanity. It actually might be the saving grace of humanity, if anything. And there's just so much you can find out. There are podcasts you can listen to that can support your ideology or challenge your ideology.
So, it is time for our speed round. Beam, beam, beam. You ready?
I'm ready.
If you were running for president, what would your campaign theme song be?
My answer is either gonna be Freedom by Beyonce or Show Me Your by Marti Gould-Cummings.
I think they're both great songs that have added a lot to the the lexicon of music. What's a retreat for you when politics gets super overwhelming? The news is so unbearable. What do you do for self-care?
I like Netflix comedy specials.
Oh, but do you know what I like more than Netflix comedy specials? Bob the Drag Queen's comedy special, available now on Logo TV.
And iTunes.
Who are activists or leaders that you look to for guidance?
You know, I like the classics. I listen to Martin Luther King speeches like every week.
They're great.
I just listen to them
Yeah.
on Spotify. They're great.
Okay, was there a moment in your life that inspired you to get involved?
Yeah, it was, I went to give blood and they said I can't give blood. And then I was so shocked by that, and that just kind of sent me to a spiral of.
And that's still the law, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, we like to close our show out with a fun little segment to give us a little bit of inspiration, a hope, something that that inspires you, or a nope, something you hope you never have to hear or see again.
You know, I'm gonna go with hope. I feel that in my heart of hearts, and I hope that in with our next president, whoever our next president is, I hope that we can mend the divide that has happened. It is severe.
I believe you are somebody who can help bring us together. Thank you so much, Bob. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on bobdragqueen.com, and everything I have is there. Since we Drag My Dad on MTV YouTube page. We're here on HBO, Sibling Rivalry, National Tour with Monet Exchange, and Bob the Drag Queen at Caroline's on Logo, iTunes, and Out TV.
Very good. All right, thank you so much, Bob. And listen up, America, we want to hear from you. You can tweet to us at Logo TV and use the hashtag MartyReport, or comment below and tell us what election topics you would like us to tackle. Please subscribe to Logo's YouTube and join us next time for another scintillating round of hot politics on the Marty Report.